Jesus talks a lot about what he calls the kingdom of God, and that word kingdom means dominion, that over which God has authority and control. Now, God doesn't seize authority over our lives, but he accepts authority if we give it to him. And then when we live in that authority, we get to wield that authority to bless those around us, which is great. So a lot of life in the kingdom of God is about what we do to give God authority over us, to direct us, about what we do to let him order our lives, our days, our actions, our ambitions. When Jesus talks about that, he says simply that the power of the kingdom of God in our lives will be a function of the way we treat God's kingdom in our lives. He says that for godly order to reign in us, it really kind of has to consume us. It has to become the one measure of our personal worth. There can be no other measure in our lives. And that's kind of a challenge to us because typically we feel like our worth, our value in life, rests in all sorts of worldly things and conventional measures, like the way people feel about us, or our job performance, or our financial status, or our social notoriety, whatever. One way to look at it is that when the dominion of God happens in your life, it solves all that other stuff. It brings orderliness to the feeling of chaos. Suddenly there's no need to play according to worldly standards or measures, and that can be a huge relief. But are we willing to lay down worldly games and go all in on God? Or do we think he might let us down? And Jesus says there's no middle ground on this. You can't compromise and still experience the full power of the kingdom of God in your life. See, that would be disorderly. Very few of us have been taught to go all in on anything. Life teaches us to hedge our bets, to be careful. I mean, what would you look like if you became an all-in type of person? What would you look like if you were simplified, focused, if you knew completely what you were about? How much more powerful would you be?